you guys are hanging in there. What a long night. What a disappointing night. Question I'll ask at some point tonight is, where do we go from here? You know, this was a tough loss. It was started off pretty decent. To stop them on the third one, bad throw by Minshew, and then Adoree Jackson happened. Question I have is, when you look into coaching, I mean, that was a big problem last week, was with coaching. How many chances we're always focused on Mariota, and sorry, I don't have a voice left, but we are always focused on Marcus Mariota, which is fine. But the big question is, how many chances does Adoree Jackson get? So if you missed it, the Titans come out, they stop the Jaguars. Jaguars wanted to get the ball in the opening, or we kicked, or we deferred. I don't even know. But Adoree Jackson, it's a wobbling kick. Like, it's already hit the ground. It's bouncing all over the place. Here's the thing I didn't get, and maybe, I don't know. The flag was thrown right in front of him. Like, you could see him see the flag. 99% of the chances, that's on us. So it's coming back anyways. It's like he sees the flag. I don't know if he had like a brain cramp, but he runs up to the ball and tries to like pick it up. And there's all sorts of Jaguars. I think it was Troy Aikman said it many times. Like, look how many defenders he had around him. And then he fumbles. That play alone totally sets the tone. If you guys, I don't know how many of you have been watching. You went back and watched my 9-7 prediction and all that. I had us actually losing this game, because the Thursday night game is so difficult. You lose it. You lose a week, a day of practice, and then you step into the game. Historically, it's been bad. I know I posted this on Twitter, and somebody commented back to me, and they're like, "Well, we won the last the 2 games before this were both won by the home team, or the away team." I totally understand, but historically, they haven't fared well. So when you get a big play like this in the beginning of the game and then score on the very next play, that's a problem. So that's kind of where I start off. And then for the offense, like, I don't want to come in here and just be like yelling and screaming, because that's not going to do anything. And the narrative in the morning may change on Mariota, because if you looked at the stats, like, I didn't even realize this, but he put up 304 yards, 23 for 40. When people are going to see those numbers that did not watch the game, they're going to think he played like pretty well. But he was sacked 9 times. So I can't just put the total blame on him, but there is some definite problems on the offense, and we can get to them. So real quick, guys, before we even get into your comments, because I know that you're fired up and you guys want to speak. I hope you guys can all hear me. I haven't even checked yet. These are the first 4 possessions for the Tennessee Titans tonight against the Jacksonville Jaguars on offense. Here we go. Are you ready for this? 5 plays, 4 yards, punt. 5 plays, 28 yards, punt. This one started off promising, but then we had 5 plays for 10 yards, punt, penalties. 5 plays for 4 yards, punt. And that's how we start. So, guys, anyone thinking, if we have anybody other than Titan fans in the room right now, how are you supposed to win games when that's the offense you put on the field? I understand 20 points is a lot. You kind of spotted the Jaguars 7, so you can't blame the defense for that one. But my goodness, like, unbelievable. That's how you start the offense. So let's get into what you guys think, and then we'll kind of go from there. Hey, you know what? Let's tighten up. Let's tighten up. Maybe that's the best comment of the day. Let's tighten up, Jesse. Awesome. All right, so let's go. I don't even know where you guys started. We'll go back early here. All right. Let's see. Why didn't Mariota catch a pass? I'm getting in here too late. So let's see. Let's go back. All right. Beavis, let's start you off, man. So had to mute TV. Aikman's voice was painful. Man, they were all about Minshew, but once that game turned around, you weren't going to stop that Minshew train at all. They were hoping Fournette was going to get going, but we shut him down until he got the cheap 69-yard run at the end, which he was -8 yards up until that point at the late in the game. All right, this is one that we're gonna probably see throughout the week. It's storming big time here. I'm putting you guys first though. I got my Mac on the line, man. It's like lightning and crazy out here. But I'm sick of it. I am sick and tired of the storms trying to interrupt Titan Upload. This is crucial. This is week 3. All right, here we go. So I would like to see what Tannehill could do. Mariota's given up. He has no confidence. Well, Mariota, honestly, for you guys at home, I don't know if it would have mattered a whole lot on Tannehill, but the way the game was going, I tweeted out in the middle of the fourth quarter before the Titans obviously scored the 7. Why not put him in there? Worst case scenario, I mean, Mariota was sacked 6 times going into that, and he was under duress, and you could tell like he was like in the pocket. And at this point, it's kind of like an injured deer. You know what I mean? Like he wouldn't even escape the pocket at this point, and that's when he fumbled. Now, to give Mariota credit, as he started picking it up later on in the fourth quarter, he was moving around trying to make plays. But I did notice that. So this is going to be the narrative from everybody about Mariota. So I have something coming out. It's called Mariota Civil War. I am definitely interested in your comments. If you watched the last video and made it to the end, I kind of set the little, carrot out there if you guys want to take it or not. But email me, titanupload27@gmail.com. Anything you want about Mariota. It could be positive. It could be negative. It could be what someone else said that you found. I know that Razor Strap gave me something from an interview, maybe out in Oregon by Jim Wyatt. So I don't care what you guys throw my way. I'll definitely use it in the video. And it's going to be good. NGB already made a little 10-minute clip. Cody made a nice little clip. So I can get it in. I'll get it in. I think it's going to even fuel the fire throughout the week that we have a Mariota situation. I almost call him Mariota because I keep hearing that on TV all the time. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a Mariota. We are split here on Titan Upload. I know we are. We have 700 some followers, subscribers, and I would say we're pretty split down the middle on what we think. But like I said, if you guys are going to ignore the O-line, it's hard to have a conversation because let's be honest, they were awful. All right. That's funny. I think I see what you're doing here, man. That's cool. O-line, horrible. Yes. Me and my son, this is my son's prediction. I know you guys could care less, but if I could put it up here. So let's see here. I took the Jaguars actually 20-10. So Vrabel ruined that for me. Otherwise, I would have perfect score. Son went 20-3 Titans. I just didn't have a good feeling about the game. I wasn't trying to be negative, but basically I don't even know what I'm talking about now, but it was just one of those things. Oh, we watched Douglas. I that was the pinpoint. Let's watch 75, 75, 75. Guys, it's tough. If you can make it through if you guys got Game Pass and go at home and watch just Douglas on every play, he gets spent. You know what's sickening though? Like some of those guys are garbage throughout the game. Like I'm thinking of Dory Jackson was not returning, even let that punt drop on the I think it was the third one. And then he finally got pulled. But Douglas, how many times did he mess up? And they just kept trotting him out there. And finally at the end, they actually replaced him. Here we go. Atrocious O-line. Dory's involved in the big trade with Ramsey. Part of me almost felt like Ramsey played the Titans. That's, I don't know. We can debate this, but it almost like if you go back and think about it, okay, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but it's almost like that's the only primetime game the Jaguars have. That's probably going to be the biggest game of the year. And he kind of took all the pressure off the Jaguars and put it on him. I mean, they trotted him out there for that press conference, like I said the other day, and they were just letting him talk. So it is interesting how that all played out. I know he went off on the coach last week, but I don't think he'll get traded. But you know what? J-Rob, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to put a lot of this game on the general manager because it's almost to the point now where J-Rob is this kind of guy. Hey, I'm going to draft a guy. He's going to work out. That's going to be the way it is. And then it gets all the way to the end, and then he'll cut him like Dodd. But how many chances is he giving Jackson to return punts? They keep throwing him out there. I'm trying to think of some other guys that the right guard situation, he didn't want to address that. He thought Nate Davis, a third-round pick from Charlotte, would fill it. I don't know about you guys, but I think if we would have put Nate Davis out there today and just had him stand there, I think he would have been better than Douglas. Like, that's a lot of guts to keep trotting that guy out there. I mean, practice squad, practice squad, practice squad. No offense to Douglas, but he was manhandled tonight by Campbell, just manhandled. And it wasn't even close. And then a lot of people were commenting. They're like, oh, Conklin's doing bad and Kelly's doing bad. But you guys got to realize that everybody's trying to cover up for these guys that are weak. Ben Jones didn't have a good game either. So they're all trying to do more. And then they're going to basically suffer in the end because they're trying to help out everybody else. And then Mariota kind of gets taken because they take out receivers and routes because they have to keep them back. Like guys have mentioned, Humphreys, the last game against the Colts, he was in chipping a lot before he'd go out. And by then it's too late. So let's keep them going. O-line lost us this game. You know who else did not do really well is the defensive line. Not one sack. And the Correa had one. That was garbage call. Give Correa credit. He came back the next down and made a big play. But man, that was garbage. How about this one real quick too? Because the refs were the focus, I thought, early on how this game was going, calling everything. You heard the Tom Brady. They were just plugging that. I bet you Fox paid Tom Brady to say that. So not Fox, I'm sorry, NFL Network. So once he said stuff, it's like all of a sudden, bam, that's all they want to talk about is Tom Brady. But man, this team, the defensive line, ultimate problems, couldn't get to the quarterback. Butler, I thought he played pretty poorly on the play at the end of the game, like the last drive, the one that actually counted where we needed to stop before they actually got I think it was the play where they went for it on 4th down. What was Butler doing on like the 3rd and 9? He was like 3 yards off the guy who caught it. So it was a tough one to watch. Yes, it was very tough to watch. Very, very painful. So we got, that's not Mark. We're going to get into this too. Arthur Smith. I know there's not much he can do, but my gosh, like it's almost to the point, like, I don't know. Everybody on this team looks bad. And I know they're not that bad. Like Corey Davis, if you guys watch the 22, Corey Davis is open a lot of times. He never, ever gets the ball. And I don't know if it's the route that he was running. Earlier on, many of you probably didn't get this, but there was a play where Delaney Walker would have been wide open. It was in the first half. And instead of continuing to run the post route, like he was running inside and then started to run maybe more of a post route. I could draw it here, but it's probably a waste of time. He circled around. It was when Mariota went left, but still Mariota could spin and throw it. I don't know. How about Humphreys wide open on the one play where he did throw it to Sharp for 23 yards? There was nobody on that side of the field. Derrick Henry drops a pass. He could have went a long way. So I agree with some of you guys. Like, I'm not going to sit here and blame it's all Mariota, but Mariota missed on a lot of plays early too that really set the tone. Like the not screen passes, but the short pass to Humphreys, I think it was way over his head. I don't know if Adam or AJ Brown ran the wrong route on that little screen pass, but it was pretty tough to see. All right, where was the protection? Well, when you're relying on Douglas, as we've mentioned here in Titan Upload all the freaking time, that's what typically happens. Yeah, I don't know where you guys are going with this, so this is hard for me just to, I don't know. One thing I would say is those plays early on in the game too, AJ Brown was being held consistently. Would you have thrown the flag on the one? I don't know. That one would have been interesting, especially in the very beginning of the game before it was getting out of hand. Douglas and Kelly. See, Kelly, here's what I do with Kelly. I would actually put Kelly in at right guard. If you don't want to do that, put Conklin at right guard when Lawan comes back. You guys are very high on Lawan. I get it. I like him too. I like his shows. I like what he does. But you guys realize, like, it could have been an accident. It can happen to anybody. I get it. And he's a family guy. Somebody tweeted that at me at once, like, because I was getting on him a little bit, but he really screwed this team. You guys, I mean, J-Rob screwed this team by not getting a right guard situation figured out, and he even had at the end of the preseason when they made all their cuts. Cleveland picked up a right guard that we used to have on the roster. I can't think of the guy's name, but he's not bad. He would be a lot better than Douglas. But no, we just won't fix the issue. We're just going to pretend like it doesn't exist. And then we signed Ben Jones to a contract extension. Like, I don't know what we're doing. All right, so let me go back to here, and then I think I got some questions. So 9 sacks, O-line. I was counting them down at the end. I was just frustrated. I apologize if you follow me on Twitter. But we had 11 sacks. I was at that game against Baltimore. This was just as bad, if you ask me. They were hitting him hard. Mariota, I give him credit. He toughed it out. But at this point in time, I don't know why he has to tough it out, why certain guys are in the field at the end of the game. Did we not learn last year at Miami? On that last drive of the game, we were not going to win. But Delaney Walker's out there catching passes. That's how he broke his game at Miami. Do we not learn anything? It means nothing. If you're going to not value preseason and you're going to say, hey, you're only going to go out there, then why can't we do that? That would have been a perfect time to put Tannehill in and put some of the other guys in just to get them a little experience. See, I think what the problem is here is we're so like into this media. Did you guys watch? Obviously, you watched NFL Network. I don't know who the girl is, but she kept doing it over and over. Hey, there's going to be a quarterback competition. Well, we could see Tannehill and all this. And give Steve Smith. I'm not always a Steve Smith guy, but Steve Smith put her in her place, and he was like, there is no competition. So I did tweet that. I tweeted the thing, and she kept going with it. And eventually she would back down. I mean, she does good work, but I mean, that's the narrative. If you're Vrabel, why not throw him in? Tannehill, throw him in. At least you're keeping Mariota. When you're interviewed, hey, is there QB? No, we're keeping our quarterback safe to play another day. That last drive meant nothing. And that's terrible that they left them all in the game. That is. I mean, anything bad, nothing good was going to come out of that, except Mariota built his stats up. And so did Humphreys. All right, so this is the narrative we're going to be expecting, and you guys are going to have to kind of fill through the junk here. What is your assessment? I'm going to go all the way to the bottom here because I want to know what you feel, and I'll put you on the screen. We can talk about it. How do we feel? I know you guys are up on the line. I know a lot of you guys are defending Mariota right now, and that's fine too. I know a lot of you are going at him, but I want to know your opinion on Marcus Mariota and how he played. Are you going to buy into the final stat line? I think it was 23 of 40. For 304 yards, no picks? Or are you going off more when the game was more competitive? I mean, Mariota was running for his life. Do you give him a little bit of credit for that? He was under constant duress. I mean, do you give him a little bit of credit for that? They were matched up man for man. Let's be honest. A.J. Brown was being held half the time, but he wasn't breaking away from anybody today. Corey Davis, I thought at moments he looked okay, but he was not existent for a long time. And then Humphreys wasn't getting open, and Sharp ran the wrong route, or Mariota threw it to the wrong person. I don't know, but that was a mess too at some point. So let's see what you guys think. Mariota, this is all Mariota. Let's talk about him. Okay, Joel's all garbage yards. Let's see. I just want to focus on Mariota right now. Mariota has no fundamentals. Some of his passes, I'll be honest with you, were not great. Some of them were rushed, which I think we understand why they're rushed, but some of them were not. Some of them, we haven't looked at the 22. Derek Mason, former receiver from the Tennessee Titans, he looks at the 22 all the time. And what I love about D-Mace is, I don't love everything that he says, but D-Mace tells you how it is. And D-Mace has been complaining about the open guys open for a long time. But I think Floyd Reese made a good point. He was off the Mariota train. Now he's kind of back on him and J-Rob. If you guys listen to 1025 The Game tomorrow at 2, they have SoundCloud, so you can go back and listen. I guarantee you Jared Stillman will be going off, and Floyd will think this game's no big deal. He will not, and that's the frustrating part, because in the preseason, he thought it was a big deal with the line, and now it's not. So he's close with J-Rob, so that's probably why I don't read too much into that. All right, where are we at? Mariota, poor clock management. I would say last game for sure. Did you guys notice when the clock was running down at the half and at the end of the game, seemed like a complete mess too. Who else do we got? Mario, the worst footwork. Let's try to put some okay. Yeah. I mean, he did miss the screen. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's see. Mariota had some big throws, but they didn't result in any points. Why didn't they result in any points? Waiting for it. Holding penalties. And some of the holding penalties, I'm not going to lie to you, I did not agree with, and neither did Troy Aikman. Mariota did have some nice passes down the field finally. I thought he hooked up to Humphreys early on. He had a nice pass to Sharp, but I think he still missed Humphreys. He had Davis helped him out. That was a nice one-handed catch. Tannehill is garbage. Yes. Well, I don't know. I think he's a great backup, but as long as he's the backup, I don't know how we can get on Tannehill. He hasn't done anything wrong. I know you're entitled to your own opinion there, George, for sure. But I'm just telling you up front, like, I'm not expecting Tannehill to go out there yet. It's too early, but I think they could have played him the last drive or so and just got him some, experience. Let's see, Tannehill's more accurate. Mariota looks more stiff when he throws. Let's see what else we have. Need to throw the ball at Corey Davis. I would agree with that. I just don't know if Corey Davis, he's open in a lot of the 22s that you watch from the coaches' film, but I'm not sure how much he's like, when you watch the game, I'm not sure how much he's open. That's why I can't wait to go to a game. I'm going to sit in my end zone seats to look at this because it's hard to tell from the TV. Let's point this out, okay? Next, we play the Falcons, Bills, and Broncos. Here's the problem, okay? We're playing at Atlanta. Atlanta's not bad. They beat Philly. I know they didn't play very well against the Vikings week 1. You know what? We played awesome week 1, and we haven't played great since. So I don't want to hear that part of it. But yes, the Bills, you can say what you want about the Bills. They have a good defense. The Broncos have a good defense. The Jaguars had a good defense when they want to play. This is very concerning. Anyone that's going to look at tonight and be like, okay, we're 1-2, we're fine. Fine. I mean, if you want to think that going into Atlanta, great. Good for you. I hope we beat Atlanta. And if we do, we're right back where we need to be, and Lawan's coming back. Awesome. I think we'll be fine. But if we go and stink up the joint in Atlanta, you're not building any confidence, that's for sure. And then you're moving into Buffalo, and then you got an offensive line. That's when I think you throw in Davis at right guard, and then you throw in Lawan. And if you don't like Davis, then you put Conklin there, or you put Kelly there. And I mean, you cannot. And Douglas, I'm sorry to say this, he needs to just go back. He doesn't need to be on the roster anymore. He can't do it. And you're only making things worse by continuing to throw him out there and act like he's not a problem. If you watch Douglas all night, and I'm sorry to get all fired up here, but Campbell was going up against Douglas most of the night, and he'd blow him back every single time. Douglas got called for a couple holds. It could have been worse. You probably could have called Douglas, besides being rushed over, you probably could have called him for holding every play. All right, 23 of 40 is telling. He missed too many. He did miss a lot of open receivers early when the game was more close. He did. I'm not going to lie to you. If he would have put that performance on in the first half in Nashville, I know half the fans in Nashville are going to be from the opposing team, but I don't know. I think he would have got booed. But you know what? Mariota, I don't think cares about any of that stuff. So it's not a good situation for him. The worst situation to ever be put in for him is to have Lawan go out and then you have no right guard. So that's just kind of tough. We can get on Vrabel. Yes, George, I agree with you. Terrible flags for sure. Let's see. Mariota throws what do you guys think about that play? I mean, he made a good play stepping up in the pocket. He threw the ball, and then the guy tipped it, and Walker was wide open in the end zone. And then he came back the next play. I thought he underthrew it. I think if we would have threw it just a little bit harder, I think Walker could have made a play on it. And then we knew. And what do you guys think about the 4th down call? Would you have kicked the field goal, or would you have went for it? 4th down call. What are you doing? You're Vrabel. You get on Vrabel for that? You're right. He has no pocket. It's a nightmare. They did not play well tonight. I guess Jackson, besides special teams, I didn't really notice him too much on defensive play. Field goal. I would have went field goal there just for the fact that you guys say put the points on the board, kick it. Yeah, I mean, we're all going to look at it differently now because it happened. But you remember at Houston last year, Vrabel on a 4th and 1, instead of sneaking it like he did twice with Mariota, which actually worked out really, really good. So good for Arthur Smith to taking the obvious first downs there. But Vrabel gave it to Luke Stocker. You guys remember that? That was Luke Stalker's first carry of his NFL career. 4th and 1 inside Houston territory when the game was on the line. Next play, 90-some yard touchdown for Houston. Game was out of reach. So Vrabel has made some questionable calls. I don't mind him going for wins against the Chargers, but that was a terrible play call last year. This one, you got 4th and 6. What was our third down? I mean, today we were a little better. I think we were like 8 for 17, but going in, that a lot of it was later, but going into that, we came into the game 3 for 20. And if we can't get it on third down, what makes you think we can get it on 4th down when they're consistently rushing us? The only thing I can think of, if you caught this or you didn't, which still makes no sense because it's right after halftime. When have you ever heard of a coach, honestly, at halftime, tell a reporter, you're going to go out and win, hopefully 17-14? Like, who says that? Like, you want to go out there and get as many points as you can and stop them. If you're really going out in the second half thinking you're going to win 17-14 and that's your mission, well, as soon as Jacksonville scores, your theory goes out the window. So when you're coming the ball, like moving the ball, and when we down the field, we should have scored a touchdown. But here's another point, okay? If you guys remember, Derrick Henry, I know he didn't have the best night. I get it, okay? But Derrick Henry wasn't in the game again, being inside after the big play, he wasn't in the game. And they handed the ball off to Deion Lewis, and then I think they made 3 pass plays in a row for nothing. At least bring Derrick Henry in the game and do something with him. I know Derrick dropped the ball. I know Derrick didn't play his best game tonight. It is what it is. I mean, nobody played very well, but it's just the obvious stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. John Robinson, he needs to fix the line. You know what I mean? Simmons coming back at some point during the year, that's going to help, but is it going to be too late? That's the question. So let's keep it going. What else we got? So that's a little bit on Mariota and Vrabel. So coaching in general, we just got done talking about that. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating as all get out. That's all I can say. Okay. I'm going to have to go back and watch Adam. I'm going to have to go back and watch the 22 to see exactly how wide open they are. All I know is Jacksonville was, man up on us. And a lot of our receivers can't break man coverage. Tajay Sharp can't. So, but who else are you going to throw in there? You guys may disagree with me here, but this is the game. I know it's hard to get the ball down the field, but this is your game where you have Humphreys going down the field and Sharp. Those guys aren't fast. Raymond. Yep, I said it. Raymond. You got rid of Taywan Taylor, right? He's the only fast, deep threat. Corey Davis he is quick, but you know what I mean? He's not your traditional speed guy down the field. You got rid of Taywan Taylor, which I'm fine with. But we thought Raymond made the team. And now Raymond, we can't get Raymond. I don't even know if Raymond's on if you guys can comment. Is Raymond even on the practice squad? But you need some change of back wide receiver. Come on. These guys are smart. They're making a lot of money. They're good coaches. I got a lot of respect for John Robinson. I do. He turned this program around. But how can you not have a speed guy to go deep to try to at least take I counted many times. You can go back. 9 guys in the box. That means they were playing man-to-man on the outside. And give Jacksonville credit. Their defense came to play today. But if we can't break certain things, there's got to be some sort of adjustments. And I don't know. In the game, we can't wait till halftime. It was totally, totally, totally unbelievable. This game is embarrassing. You know what's most embarrassing about this game is now we have to wait. We didn't play very well against Indianapolis, and I think you guys can see the difference here. We didn't play well against Indianapolis, and we still almost won. And then today, it's just like we went out there and laid a complete egg. And then now we're 1-2. We're 0-2 in the division. That sucks. Anybody that thinks that's not a big deal, it's huge. It's a big, big deal. So it's not the end of the season. It's only week 3, but we've been down this road before. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the year after we made the playoffs, and we were it was 2008. We made the playoff game in 2009. The 2009 season started, and we lost a tough one to Pittsburgh, and it was like a snowball. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then finally we're like 0-6. So we just throw out Vince Young or whatever, and the game kind of changed a little bit and we got hot late. But it almost seems like we're going down that road. Week 2, it's only week 2. Okay, it's only week 3. It's only week 4. I'm telling you right now, Atlanta is going to be a tough game. So the only thing I'm holding my hat on is Lawan and then Davis coming back should actually somewhat fix the O-line. And then we'd have to worry about Ben Jones. And then we'll have to see about Conklin. Now, a lot of you are getting on Conklin. It's fine. But like I said, how much is Conklin trying to do on his own and helping other people out? He's got Douglas right next to him. So Douglas is constantly under siege. I mean, this guy is being attacked all the time. So I don't know. Coaching that's a big point too. Somebody made a comment on Twitter. I forget who it was, but said we need to get Mike Munchak back to coach the O-line. The O-line, I'm pretty sure the O-line coach doesn't really have much experience coaching O-line. So maybe we can start to see some kind of change. I don't know. Before I go, just because I know it's late, guys, is there anything from your point of view that we can take from this game as a positive? I mean, is there anything positive, or is this complete hogwash, throw the tape away and move on? You guys notice anybody play well that we didn't think of that kind of gets thrown under the rug that anything? So we got nothing. Yeah, there's a lot of Titans hype. It's not no more hype anymore. I told you. No run defense. Here's one for you. You know who's a stud and he gets overlooked? He's a complete stud. So if you're bored, you can't get nothing Titans this weekend. I don't know how many of you actually go back. If you go and watch the tape again, Evans is a stud, man. Evans is a stud, and I hope he's okay. He totally gutted through that second half. I don't even know why they would throw him back out there. He definitely hurt his shoulder, so Moore's going to come out with that, but you could tell he was, playing through the pain. But that guy, man, he can hit. He's fast. He knows where the play is going to go. I mean, he's part of the reason why we had -8. And then Finch, I thought, played pretty well. Nobody mentioned him. And then he got hurt. So that's a problem. It's an ankle injury, but I thought Finch played pretty well. Landry played well, like in the first couple snaps, but I didn't really see much of him. I thought Logan Ryan played okay. I know he got burnt on the pass interference, but he had a nice breakup. Byard saved a touchdown. You got to give the guy credit. At least he hung in there. But there's not a lot of guys that played well, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And that's too bad. Not a fan of Evans. I don't know, man. He looked pretty tough tonight. Jayon Brown's good too. I'll give you that one. Plays too calm in the pocket. They pointed that out tonight. They were not You guys are not big Evan fans? I mean, what the heck, guys? Do you watch the game? Really? I don't know. Rush deep played well. Let's see. Byard chase down. I like that too. Let's see. Yeah, well, that's fine, but Evans is still good. I mean, so far he's been balling this ever since he came back from that little period where he came back from injury. He was awful, and then he kind of picked it up. I'll just challenge all of you to go back and watch the tape on Evans, and maybe you'll change your mind a little bit. If you don't, like, it is what it is. I thought he played pretty well. Thank you. Somebody's going to join the party and back me up on Evans. I honestly thought he played well tonight, but whatever. Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. So, anything you guys want to talk about before I head out? Leaving it up to you guys, because I don't really have anything else that's too negative, and I don't want to go down that road, and I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be Titan Upload negative guy. I just don't want to do it. If anything. Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to get better, but I mean, there were a couple plays today I was like, wow. And I don't usually say that a lot of time. That's all I'm saying. Maybe. I mean, I was thinking maybe we could put Jeffrey Simmons at guard right now. I mean, he just doesn't just tell him not to move. Be better than what we have, and that's the sad part. It really is. Because let's just be honest, Douglas is going to get a lot of the blame. He'll be the scapegoat or whatever for today. But Douglas, you guys admit, like he's in a no-win situation. Like he can't do it. He can't. So it's like, putting me out there as quarterback. Like it's not going to end well. You know what I mean? I could try to throw the ball a few times. You know what I mean? I might be able to hit a screen once in a while and take a sack a few times and not fumble. But you get the point. Like Douglas has been put in a situation where they're trying to get him to block and he can't do it. Like he just physically can't do it. And it's sad because we're going to all rip him. And I'm sure he's a good person and all that. But he is going to be the one that gets you watch. That's what the media will go with this week. They'll try to pin it on a few guys and then they'll go with that. I'm going to argue with you on that one, but just not today. All right. But that's cool. I hear Brown. I am very happy with both these guys. So we have Woodyard, which is, I love Wesley. I think he's good too. Brown took his spot. Jayon Brown and Evans took his spot. So, I think how do I put this? In the type of system that we usually play against with receivers, I think, Brown is very good at coverage linebacker. And, he was good at that with UCLA. That's why he's drafted. He's like a specialist. But he's actually turned up his game so well that now he's a starter. So, I mean, if you're going to complain about the Tennessee Titans, one area you probably can't complain too much about is linebacker. All right. You know what? It's almost, it hurts our draft status. So I agree, Adam. I don't know where you've been, Adam. I haven't seen you before. But what's up, man? You've been commenting a lot. I appreciate it. But you're right. I don't know where we're going to go with this. The middle of the road. So even if you're not a Mariota guy, like who are you going to draft? Like, are you going to mortgage everything to go up? And you're not going to beat the Dolphins out. They're going to get to us. So that's a done deal. I like Fromm. I think Fromm is good. There's a lot of people that don't like him. And like I've mentioned this before, I don't know. I haven't researched enough if he'll translate into the NFL. I've been down this road before with you guys. I don't know if, you know what I mean? Some quarterbacks just don't work out. And, are you guys buying the Jacksonville quarterback? Do you think he's the real deal or you just think he caught us at a good time? I mean, I don't really know. I am too. Because as you know, on Titan Upload, we've been hyping up the Titans pretty good. I thought they were going to come out well tonight, well coached. And to be completely honest with you, like Vrabel cost them 10 points tonight. Like not replacing Adoree Jackson, which has been a problem last year. And he was a problem in the preseason. He had a decent time, last week? But is that enough just to keep throwing him out there? Even after he fumbled, he threw him back out there. Let's see. Good night, man. Very important gamer. Let's see. He should have got more points. Yeah. Henry got some points. Fromm's okay. So he's nothing special. Like, where do you think is he better than Minshew? No. He's not the real deal. Yeah, it's not looking good for Adoree. I don't know. He was more brought in for a special teams guy that could play corner, but now you're not going to have him be a special teams guy, so that's probably an issue for sure. As you guys are, let's see if I wrote anything else down to even talk about. Let's see. I put Mariota can't hit a wide open. Humphreys overthrown him. What else do we have? Man, that shark guy totally destroyed Butler. What'd you guys think about that one? My gosh. Why can't we have wide receivers do that? Just like totally, you know what I mean? I had some Jayon Brown with some big stops for sure. And I didn't have, I mean, I was so fed up. It's like, what are you even going to write? So, all right. If there's nothing else, I'm probably going to head out. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm just heartbroken. I'm frustrated. I don't know where this team goes. So that's where I'll leave it tonight. Where does this team go from here? Is there anything someone in this entire, I think there's about 50 of you in here. Is there anything that you can say that's going to make things at least seem a little bit better in the weeks to come? Or is it pretty much we just jump into the ocean and call it a day? I mean, I don't know. What is there any positive outlook? If you're Vrabel, what do you do? Tighten up. Welcome, man. Thanks for joining us. We are dysfunctional on offense. We can never figure it out. It's like every year there's excuse after excuse. It's the offensive coordinator, it's the line, it's the quarterback, it's the receivers, it's the tight ends, it's Delaney got hurt. They brought up Marcus's weight today again, and it's like Marcus's weight, no offense, has nothing to do with what's going on. That is like the least of importance. I don't know if he can come out. Can he? Can he come out next year? I think he has to wait another year. He may go to the XFL though. Let's see. Tank. I don't know. I'm not ready to go there. Hey, on a brighter note, wow. How about Rudy 2 coming out? What'd you guys think about that? That was probably the highlight of the night. Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, at least the Dolphins are going to tank for Tua, then we can maybe do the same thing. But this team's too good. That's the problem. This team's really good. I know that you guys may not believe me right now, but this team is built right now to win. There's just too many holes the right guard. I'll keep going back to that, which is hurting us. Lawan's out, and then the defensive line. We didn't put too much into getting a legit pass rush guy. We went with Wake, which had a great first game, but what did he do? He's the last 2 games I haven't heard from Wake. Adam, are you in Canada? You might be the only person in Titan Upload history to ever be on a live chat from Canada. That'd be cool. Let's see what else we got. What can you be positive about? I don't know. I mean, at some point you could say, well, Vrabel can get across to these guys, but I don't know. It's like guys keep making mistakes and they don't get punished for them. They keep throwing them out there, but then how much is it because there's no one else to put out there? I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Trade for a right guard. Wait until Lawan comes back and start Tannehill. I don't know what else to say. I don't know. It will be interesting. You know what the thing I'm looking forward to the most is in the next couple days, what is going to be the narrative on Mariota's performance tonight, the team in general going forward, and to see those are the interesting parts because I have my opinion. I thought Mariota didn't do very well for the most part, but I understand, I guess, right? Like the line was horrific. I don't know if Tannehill would have made a huge difference, but I will stick with my word. When the game's out of hand, I thought you should have put him in there, and I thought you should have took Walker and some of these guys out and let them play another day. So that could have ended really bad for us, just like it did in Miami. You're right. Season isn't over yet. That's a positive. So if we win next week, so we'll end it on this. Here we go. If we win against the Falcons next week, we're 2-2. When we went over all this in the very beginning, I thought we'd be 2-2 at this point. I thought we'd win the first 2 games and lose the next 2. All right. But when Lawan went out, I think a lot of us were hoping we'd be 2-2. Am I right? So the good night is, thank you, man. No disrespect on Evans, though. I mean, honestly, good conversation. Thanks for joining us, and we'll definitely see you, coming up. But appreciate the love, man. So again, I don't even know what I was talking about. But yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. It's just been one of those games. Oh, 2-2. Back to 2-2. So if we're 2-2, you guys, going into Buffalo, our offensive line If we think that's the problem, which it is, if the offensive line's fixed or somewhat fixed, you throw Davis out there, and then Davis is probably going to have to come back a week early. I'm sorry. Maybe you guys agree or disagree. He's got like 10 days now to get ready for Atlanta. I'm pretty confident Vrabel will have these guys ready to go. He seems to do pretty well with the extended time. So you got that going for us, 2-2. And then we can go. I know Buffalo's undefeated, but they haven't played anybody. We beat Buffalo. Now we're 3-2. So that makes me feel 1% better. Let's see what we got. Rookie QB, 2T. Okay. Yeah, I know. But again, like, oh, man, I don't get carried away in stats. I want to see exactly how it all played out. So I'm going to hold my judgment on him until I see the 22, which I think will come out on Saturday. So then, yeah, maybe I'll do a video this weekend, or maybe I'll just take the week off because it's been a really, really tough one. All right, Alaska, that's cool. First Alaskan. What's the weather like up there? The storm passed, by the way. Disappointing, you guys. None of you asked about the storm and the lightning. It was like right outside the house. I could have got hurt. You guys didn't care. That's all right. Whatever. But yeah, Alaska, how's the weather there? We just need to improve the line. Okay, Marcus. I would agree with that. Stats are misleading. I'm curious too. Did anyone catch the post game? I'm gonna go back and probably listen to it in the morning. It's late, but whatever. Thank you. First comment of the day. Nice. I think it's ending. I got my flags off the deck though, so that's good before it. What would have Peyton Manning done in this game? Well, we know what Eli Manning would have done, right? But Peyton, the old Peyton or the new Peyton? The new Peyton, probably not much. Why does Jonnu play more than I don't know if he does. I think problem with Delaney is they keep him in the block more, so he's never really out for he's never really out to catch the ball. Trade for Eli, I'm not gonna give you a thumbs up for that one. I'm not. He's washed up. Unfortunately, can't really throw the ball, so that's not what we need. Yeah, that's a big disappointment. I was on here. You guys remember? I went live that night and I was all excited. Luck retired, and maybe that's just my karma catching up to me. You're gonna get I like Jeff Fisher. That's why I'm supporting the 9 jersey on. I know it's hard to see, but I thought maybe the 9 jersey would make me feel better because Mariota did have 9 sacks. So I'm thinking, well, the only 9 I care about is McNair. But how about the cloud thing? That was pretty cool. So let's see. Anything else worth talking about? He tried to let it rip a few times tonight. And it worked a couple times, but not. Yeah. So. All right, man. Yep, the 27. Man, favorite player. I wonder what he would have thought. Couple things. Bullock commented. If you guys want to go back and read his Twitter, Keith Bullock was getting a little fired up about the performance early on. And what I think is cool about Bullock's comments and just in general are there are a lot of Titan guys that aren't obviously on the team anymore, but they are invested in this and they're a part of it. And when things aren't going well, they're frustrated too. So, I mean, that's pretty cool of we, the community. I love Davis. Love him. I do. I love Corey Davis. That's probably one of the biggest disappointments as far as not being able to get him the ball. I think that's frustrating because he can do a lot. You guys remember what he did last year against New England. He was balling, and he balled against Philly too. He does produce when he gets the ball. I don't know how much he's open, though. That's something I would have to – I know he's been open in the past, but I'd have to go back and look because it's hard to tell by these angles. Season isn't over. It's just concerning, right? It's concerning. It's like being a teacher right now, and if you get 3 Fs in a row or 2 Fs in a row on test, you can turn it around. You can, but we got to figure out where the help's coming from. And if we can't get any help, then, these performances, you guys realize they're getting worse because teams are getting the film on the Titans and they're exploiting the weaknesses. The Browns didn't have any film on Douglas. They didn't have any film on the offensive line. So that game, the Browns kind of did themselves in with all the penalties and then the interceptions. But now people have time. They can go back and watch these games. They know exactly where they're going, and they know how they're going to attack us. They put Campbell, the best player on defense, on our weakest player, and look how it worked out. 9 sacks total. I know the guy from Kentucky last year. He had, I think he got drafted 7th in the first round this year. Josh Allen, he had a couple sacks. I don't remember Josh Allen too much because everybody was in the backfield, if you know what I mean. Yes, I don't know this on the top right now, but who does Indy and Houston have? Well, the sad part, Reggie, if we went 1-15, we would still have the number 2 pick because the Dolphins aren't going to win a game this year. So they don't want to win. What made you like? Let's see. New Jersey Devils. What about the Chicago Blackhawks? I don't know. Whatever. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a great week. I apologize that I don't have anything more positive to say tonight. I don't. I think if we're going to take anything from this podcast tonight, it's week 3. There wasn't a whole lot of positives. And if we could go back to Finch, if Finch escaped tonight without a major injury, other than what maybe will come out with Evans, I don't think we, injuries don't seem to be a concern. So that's good. But we do have 10 days or whatever to fix some of these issues. They're not going to totally work. We're going to have to come up with something creative. But Atlanta, to win in Atlanta, that's going to be tough. So I'm kind of just visioning, do what we do, go into Buffalo. Buffalo may be the last stand. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but if we start 1-3, that Buffalo game will be the season, I think. You don't want to start 1-4. I know the Colts started 1-5 last year, and they won all those games in a row and made the playoffs. But you traditionally don't want to start like that. I would like to. Hopefully, we beat Atlanta. We go 2-2. But if we don't, like I said, I think a lot of got the offensive line back together. Juan's coming back. I think that Buffalo game is going to be a huge game. It'll be our last stand. Hopefully, we figure it out. As far as the Mariota thing to end the day, because I know a lot of you are concerned with Mariota and what we're doing with that. Honestly, you guys, I don't be surprised. He's going to be playing at Atlanta. They're not going to bench him. And I know some of you are like, oh man, that's terrible. I can't really see when they would. It would probably be after week 6, week 7 before they make it. The way that he kind of hung in there and at least did some things tonight, maybe give them a little bit more encouragement. But I think it's clear as day. Coach-wise, I think the coaches are more seeing it as the offensive line, and that's causing everyone else to play poorly. And they could be right. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say no more than the coaches. But I think if they wanted to pull Mariota, tonight would have been the perfect night to pull him. But they didn't. And that's what I kind of envisioned. They're a lot more invested in this than the national media is giving them credit for. And personally, I thought if things went really, really bad, kind of how they started, even though it wasn't Mariota's fault that Jackson fumbled, I thought you could have threw him out there early in the fourth quarter, and they didn't. They left him out there. So that tells me they're probably going to just keep him. And I don't really see. But I will tell you this, and like I said, if you want, because I know some of you are different on here now than when you were about 40 minutes ago or 50 minutes ago, please give me an email, titanupload27@gmail. Email me what your thoughts are on Marcus Mariota, and I'm going to compile those and make my next video called Mariota's Civil War, Titan Fans Divided. And the intent from that video is to kind of see what perspectives we have out there and see, just to kind of dive into that from people's perspectives. So I'll try to get outside people. I'll try to get media people, those kind of guys, and see what they're saying, and then compared to what we got going on. It's just something maybe it won't work out, maybe it will, but it's definitely going to be an issue coming up here is Marcus Mariota. If I would put a Marcus Mariota video on there right now on YouTube, doesn't matter what I would say about Marcus Mariota. I mean, it could be my son throwing footballs about Mariota. That is a huge, huge topic around Nashville, around this form, around just social media, around everything in the NFL that care about the Titans. They all want to talk about Mariota, whether it's good or whether it's bad. So I feel like this would be a great chance to get your opinions, your thoughts out there, just to kind of see where you're coming from. And like I said, this is why I created this channel, was for us to share opinions. And that's the way it is. And this is probably the most opinion-based thing that you guys want to talk about. So we'll talk about it. So if you're interested, great. If you're not, no big deal. If I'll try to put something together, see what you guys think. But until then, I'll try to come back this weekend. Maybe we can do some kind of post comment afterwards. I'll let you know in advance. Again, if you follow me on Twitter, that's fine. But if you don't, like I said, I can keep up with you through email. Just email me. I try to get back to all of you with your comments. So I just appreciate you guys being around and hanging out with us. So fortunately, I wish I could do a little bit more than what I'm going to do right now. But yeah, I can't. I can't come up with 14 more points for us. I wish I could, but I can't. So take care, you guys. Again, have a great, great weekend. I know it's not easy. It's not easy for me, but tighten up, stay strong, Titan pride. Hopefully we can turn this thing around. Till next time, see you guys later. Titan Upload, signing off.